keep it factual. I'm on sabbatical. I'm out in Central America. I need a break from hysteria. Park like the one with the carousel. I get it lit in your area. I'm locked to the vision, it couldn't be clear. You couldn't pay me to care enough. I dare you to hate me supreme with the sound through the stereo. So turn it up loud when you hearing us. We live and it's good in your area. My mama proud, she tearing up and it's going down. Got your girl aroused by these massive stacks like 100 pounds. Running big laps till the sun is down like 100 miles. Tinted frames on me leaning down. I'm winning now.
All right, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. Hope all is well with you guys today. I am currently in Thailand right now, Pattaya. It's nighttime here. More likely, if you're watching this video, it's going to be daytime where you guys are at. So, but hopefully, I still can get some guys to come in. We got a really good topic today. Shout out to my friend O'Shea Duke Jackson for making the video. Travel Bros are following me on the pedestal. We're going to do a reaction to that, live reaction to that. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give my dialogue of what my thoughts are on the matter. Then I'll bring some guys in to give us their opinions and their experiences as far as do we think that the travel bros are pedestalizing foreign women. Now, for the purpose of this video, I want to say that, O'Shea does a lot of great content. He's put a lot of work in promoting traveling to the brothers, to guys, and we really appreciate that. So this is not to talk bad about him about the video any type of way. I just want to give it a preference, but it's going to challenge some of his talking points that he talked about in the video. And I already spoke to O'Shea, that's my homie. So we're going to do a video on his channel as well, discussing Thailand and other subject matters as far as traveling as well. So I just want to put that out there before we get into the gist of the show. Let me see who's all in the chat, and we'll get this party started, man. We got a good subject today. I want to give a shout out. We got 44 in the room already. Do me a favor, guys. Make sure you hit that like button because we about to get this party rolling. All right. Let's see who we are. We got Chester Williams in the building. Shout out to Chester Williams. He said yes. Okay. Dude has a fridge in his living room. Yes, they do have fridges in the living room in Thailand, brother. Yes, it's a different setup here. Who else we got? Women are submissive and a lot of others because the men aren't simps. Hey, man, it's simping going all around the world, believe it or not. I think I look a little blurry. Let me fix this. I look a little blurry here. Hold on. Be a little patient with me, fam. I'm trying to. Yeah, let me get that. That's a little bit better. All right. All right, we here, man. We are in the building. This is going to be a good show. Also, I want to welcome all the new members to the group. Black Men Travels 2.0. Also, Passport Bros, the group are growing fanatically. We're getting dozens of requests a day, sometimes even hundreds of requests a day. So if you haven't already joined and you think about traveling, you want to be a travel bro or a passport bro, you want to participate and learn knowledge of, guys traveling in the world, how to move and different subject matters concerning travel, make sure you join our Facebook groups, Black Men Travels 2.0 and Passport Bros. We're coming up with a group trip. We're going to make an announcement next week. We're just putting everything together for the group trip in Cartagena in September. I'm going to show you some quick, before we get to the subject, till we get to the video, let me just show you guys some of the photos of our last group trip. I want to give a shout out to Cardell for putting the group trip together. Let me just give you some photos real quick, give you some social proof of the guys having a great time. Here we go. There you go. BMT meet up in San Domingo. As you can see, guys having a good time. The BMT shirts on. All right, at the beach, having a good time. Bunch of intelligent brothers enjoying themselves. So there we go right there. Guys in San Domingo, man. So you already know the next group trip is going to be off the chain, bro. Next group trip is going to be off the chain. All right. This is a couple of little photos of the last group trip we did in San Domingo. Shout out to Grego in the building. We're going to get right into it. BMT to the moon, you already know. Let's see where we at here. There we go. As you can see, brothers enjoying themselves, having a good time with the ladies in San Domingo on the yacht party. You can tell it was surreal. We're going to also have a yacht party in Cartagena as well. So, guys, we're going to put the information about this group trip out next week, all right? We're going to confirm some of the dates. We're going to confirm some of the events during the group trip as well. And then we're going to put it out for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and sign up for that group trip in Cartagena. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing seeing brothers traveling the world, connecting, sharing valuable information that can change your life, man. So just keep that in mind, bro. We're gonna have this Cartagena trip up very soon. Love to see brothers connected. You know, love to see brothers connected overseas. I'm telling you, man, it's a beautiful thing because when you travel, you know, some of the same hiccups you have in the States, you try to be the one-man army in a lot of cases. You know, some of the things, some guys may not trust each other. You know, we have trust issues with each other in America, all that good, stuff. But when you travel overseas, man, it's just a whole nother world. And you're meeting a different type of guy usually. Passport bros, man, usually have a different type of mentality to where a lot of us are solution-based instead of problem-based, all right? Where you got a lot of guys that's in the States, they complain about dating in the matrix and whatnot. They might be miserable or whatnot. They sit around on YouTube all day. They talk, bad about women in the matrix and all the foes and problems. And you got these guys who say, you know what? I understand it's a rough road here in the matrix. I'm going to expand my options. I'm going to start traveling overseas. I'm going to get my passport. And I'm telling you right now, getting your passport, guys, is one of the best investments you can make in your life. I promise you. That are you paying PUA coaches? That are you, buying super expensive cars, car notes, having big houses? Hell, I've had all of that, and I still wasn't happy. All right, because it's a few things that's missing in America, man. And the quality of living you get overseas for having less than all that, have to worry about all that stress and problems. It's just so beneficial to your soul, to your spirit, man. So with these group trips, if you're not familiar with some of these countries, you might be nervous about solo traveling. This is the perfect setup for you. All right. It's going to be the perfect setup for you because you're going to get with guys that have knowledge. You can get with us, me or Cardell or Astrid, and you can ask questions. And a lot of times, man, these group trips, guys want to see how they can permanently move overseas. So we do have networking events where guys can discuss entrepreneur jobs, or remote jobs, or trying to come up with ways to income overseas. Have residual income to where you can live overseas, guys. All right. So make sure you be able to watch out for that group trip. Once again, welcome all the new members to the Passport Bros. All right, let me see who's all in the chat, and we're gonna get this party started. Let's see who's on. Shout out to Delanoy. What up, bro? Gunmetal USA. We got Ruthless Rays in the building. I think I know who that is. What up, bro? Scott Street said best investment ever. He's talking about the passport. Chester Williams. We're gonna talk about this. Okay, we're gonna talk about this, right? As far as having confidence overseas and all that good stuff. We're gonna chop it up about it. All right. As a matter of fact, before we start, let me just give you. Hold on. Let me clear that out real quick. All right. So yeah, guys, make sure you join the Passport Bros group. Now, this is more of an active group. Black Men Travels 2.0. That group has kind of been restricted, shadow banned. We're still getting new members in every day, but we don't have access. We don't have full access to the admin for whatever reason. There's no rhyme or reason they didn't send us any notifications, anything. We just did not have full access to the admin. So I know a lot of guys would hit me up personally. Hey, but why my posting get approved? You Black Men Travels guys are hating on us. No, we're not doing that, guys. We just don't have access to the admin. Dude, we do get access to the admin. You got over 150 posts for the last few weeks in there that we got to go through. All right. So some of the posts might be so dated about what happened 2-3 weeks ago that, we're going to decline it. So make sure you join Passport Bros as well, which is the backup group for Black Men Travels 2.0. That's the active group. That's the group that we have full access to right now. So make sure you join that. Link is in the description. All right. Now let's go ahead and get to this video. Know what you guys been waiting on. We're going to play some of this video. We're going to stop it, here and there. We're going to play the whole entire video, but we're going to play some of the video. All right. Shout out to the Flyboy Way in the building. Flyboy Way, if you want to come up and I drop a link, man, you're welcome to come on up. I'm going to drop a link after I do my little spiel about the video. All right. Shout out to Nasty Stingray. Shout out to Ray Hanna in the building. Let me catch a super chat real quick. Shout out to TZTV for the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says Costa Rica in August, treat all these chicks the same, recreational only. YOLO. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Enjoy yourselves. Make sure you definitely enjoy yourselves overseas. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Let's see. No, there's someone talk, bro. So he has a clout in the game. Yeah, for sure. I would consider O'Shea to be a travel bro as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get
people, right? And so
let me start this over. Give me 1 second, fam. All right, here we go. All right.
On the West Coast, listen, guys, what you guys see is what I've also seen. I've experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not even talking about women as far as what they look like. I'm talking about ugly as far as attitudes. And, I've had my issues just like you guys have had your issues. But you know what? For me, I want to stick with my community. I have a very black centered channel. I'm even in Africa a lot and stuff like that. I just love our people despite our differences. But everybody is not like me. You have some black men who love our people and they say like, well, I just think I can get a better deal dating somewhere else. And you even see there's a part of the community called the Traveling Bros.
That's us. Shout out to the Travel Bros, Passport Gang in the building.
Where black men are doing just that. You have black men that are going to the Dominican Republic, black men who are going to Africa. You have black men who are going to Brazil, black men going to Colombia, black men going to the Philippines. And even you have black men who are in the military, living in different countries. You have guys living in Germany, guys living in Austria, different things like that. And some guys live in America and just, decide to date out exclusively out of the race. There are some brothers who date just specifically in the Pan-African community. That could be, African women. It could be Afro-Latina women. And then you have some brothers who are just dealing with, women that are white and, so on and so forth. But
hey, shout out to the Travel Gang. We got guys all the way, shout out to Xavier out there in Russia, Eastern Europe, Ukraine. We got guys in Latin America, Brazil. We got guys in the islands, the Caribbean, the DR. He's right. Things are changing. The dating landscape is changing, whether some people would like to admit to it or not. All right. Guys are sowing their seeds all over the world right now. They're doing businesses, networking, building networks. I want to shout out Connect to Colombia out there in Medellin, Colombia. Shout out to Flip Flop and Paradise Life. They're based out in Dominican Republic. So you got whole travel movements being started. All right. I mean, dudes are doing it for other reasons than just women, though. I want to preface that because the American dollar definitely goes a long way overseas in most of the countries that we're in. So now, along that you can leverage your American dollar, you can buy, in some countries, you can buy real estate, dirt cheap, you can buy land, all right? And this is a totally different lifestyle. And dudes are, they're setting roots up overseas. It is what it is, So it's not all about the women. There's other benefits of becoming a travel bro. Many benefits, it's therapeutic being able to travel the world. Like I say, travel is cheaper than therapy. You can see the t-shirt. All right, let's get back to the video.
there is an element to this on the international level of black men dealing with foreign women. And, the kind of gist of it all is that you get better treatment. These women are more submissive. These women are, going to be a little bit more on your program. And for the most part, I could agree with that statement.
So we're in full agreement right now during this video. We're in full agreement. All right. Yes. In most cases, you will get a woman that will submit and follow your program. Not in all cases now. It's dating. You're dealing with women. They see the world a different way. You're going to have issues. There's no perfect relationship. If it's a perfect relationship, it's not a real relationship. All right. So you're still going to go through the trial and errors of dating overseas like you would in the Matrix. Don't get it twisted. It's not like just a fairy tale situation. But in a lot of the cases, you are dealing with a woman that you can work with more because the culture that she's from allows her to embrace masculinity a little bit more than would say in America, where if you're a heterosexual male, you're deemed the enemy already from the gate. You're a threat. All right. If you don't submit to what people think is right or what's the narrative that the government is pushing, the propaganda of all the, the alphabet people and all that good stuff. Now I'm getting to it in the video, but yeah, there is some truth to that. All right. There is some truth to the fact that men are going overseas and following women that they can lead. All right, in a lot of cases. So men are hearing about it. They're watching videos. They're hearing from their friends that, hey man, you got some women over here that are black, like black women, Afro Latinas, like he mentioned in the video, African women that are more comfortable with you being a leader in the household. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Women from other places are a little bit more cultured when it comes to men and male and female dynamics. But there is still one problem, okay? And this is what I see. I see a lot of guys who date either in the interracial parts of America, or they're dating, in the international market. And then what they'll do is they'll go to these places, and obviously the conversation is going to be up for this. Like, why are you not married? You're 35 years old or 30 years old and you're coming to my country and you're not married. And they're going to ask you that question because men typically in these cultures are already married. It's highly unlikely a man is 35, living in Kenya or living in Ghana that's not married unless, well, he's living an alternative lifestyle, right? So that's kind of suspicious.
That was funny right there. The little dude made the pause. I like that. Shout out to O'Shea, man. His production quality is off the chain, man. Beautiful women all throughout the video as well.
To them. But then what happens is, I know if so many black men start saying, sad music, man, where I'm from, these African American women in my community, man, they're not feminine. They're not good. They ain't good women. All right. So let me just kind of start right there. That conversation tends to happen a lot more than what some black men want to talk about. You have black men who are vocal about the issues that we have to other people. So what happens is that there tends to be somewhat of a worship of foreign women, a little bit. I'm not saying this with every guy.
Now, see, right here, this is when I start to disagree with him out to a certain degree. All right, there's some truths to, men, treat women overseas maybe a little better because the treatment that they're getting is going to be better. But to say that, we're going over and we're talking about, now in some cases you do have channels, not on this channel, and I don't think none of the travel bros have set up channels to where we're just specifically talking down about American women in general. All right, most of it's going to be about our experiences traveling the world. In some cases, you will have subjects where we're talking about dating the Matrix. I've done shows about that as well, but it's just not specific to the guys, just, that whole narrative of just, dissing American women. The reason why is because travel bros are out traveling the world. That's just not something we won't really be talking about. We're discussing different things for the most part. All right, let me go back to the video.
But I do see it with certain people, right? And so what happens is it kind of puts these women on a pedestal where they feel like, well, shit, your own women can't treat you right. So I might not treat you the best that you can get because you don't have anywhere to go.
See, I don't know what foreign women really think like that. If that's what they're thinking in their head, like, oh, you're here in Colombia, so the women in America must not be dealing with you, so I can treat you like dirt because you can't go back to America and get a woman. Women are extremely competitive. From my experiences, I did a whole lot in Colombia. When women are asking you, foreign women like Colombian women are asking you about, your experiences dating in America, they might ask specifically about your relationships just to see what type of man you are, to see what you're willing to deal with. So they might ask you about your ex-wife. Hey, you was married, oh, wow, 10, 15 years, if you don't mind me asking, did it go wrong? Those are deep conversations that you might have every now and then. But for the most part, when you're dating a woman from overseas, more likely, especially if you're in South America, there might be a language barrier. So those intricate, deep, conversations, they can be had. But to say you're going to be a translator, writing paragraphs about what happened to your last relationship, that's kind of a stretch. I mean, it might get their relationship get serious, but from my experiences with Colombian women, they want to know about your experiences dating women in their own country. Like they want to know, hey, have you dated a woman in Brazil yet? Have you been in a relationship in Colombia yet? They're more concerned about that. And they're going to be asking you questions. Hey, was she a Paisa? Was she Mestizo? Where is she from? Was she from Cartagena? Oh, she's a Costeño. It's more tribal like that. They're trying to figure out what you're used to dealing with versus them asking about, American women per se, and then you going off on a tangent saying how American women are bad. That's just not usually the way the conversation goes. But let's get back to the video, and I'm gonna catch all these super chats after we sum up the video.
That's why you're over here dealing with foreign ladies. Now, I want to talk about that because, living outside of America the last 6 or 7 years, I've gotten my economic influence or my economic welfare from the Black community online. Our people have been so great in supporting me and support my concepts, especially here in the Black manosphere community. I didn't have to come to Poland, let's say, and get a job in Poland because, my people can support what I do. And so when I return back home to the States, I already have some brothers I can already work with and be locked in, right? So I have some flexibility. I'm not just, going to be dealing with, people in Africa or people in Poland, because again, my people are great enough to support what I do. And I think that's what you have as power. Even if you're a Black man dating out, I just don't see the whole purpose in telling other groups of women. I'm not saying everybody does this, because everybody doesn't, but to let people of another community know that you have a disdain for what's going on in your community, it doesn't give you that flexibility. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, even if I'm dating in Africa, like, well, why don't you, date an African American woman? I said, well, they're my first choice. I'm just overseas right now, but that's who I prefer. And I say that just to let them know that, listen, okay, this guy can kind of go back to his own.
Hold on now, O'Shea. Hold on now, bro. I gotta, you're my boy. I gotta call you out. Because if you really prefer African American women, you probably would be, probably living in America a little bit, if you prefer that, firstly, we can talk about that, but, shout out to my dude, O'Shea.
Own community and his own women. So he just won't take anything off of me. And that's why I try to let them know, like, hey, listen, I prefer our own women. Our women are beautiful. They're gorgeous, Even if we have those problems, I never let them know that. Why? Because if you don't, what you're going to find out is that they'll start treating you a little worse than they treat their own men. And I've seen this happen many times.
They will start treating you worse than they treat their own men. As an American, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Your value, being a foreigner in most cases where you're at is pretty high. So to say they'll treat you worse, and you being an American, these women kind of know that you can pretty much replace them at a drop of a hat, especially if you got your looks together, you got your clothes together, you got your money together. It is so competitive overseas for men. It's just ridiculous. And being an American man or a Western man, I mean, you are, fortunately because of, capitalism and all that, you coming from a top tier dominating country, that American dollar goes a long way. I mean, I just don't see that them treating you like, okay, you can't go back. You say something bad about your women, so I can just treat you anyway. You can't go nowhere because the women in the States don't want you. I don't see that. Now, he might be referring to guys that come overseas, they go overseas for a week or 2 weeks, and they go back to the States and they start dissing the women in the Matrix. I've seen some of that. They're sending money down to women in the DR, thinking that they're going to be exclusive to them. That's a little bit of passport simping. It happens. But our culture, in a nutshell, is American has a thirst culture. You have a lot of men that, have decided not to date in the States. That's their preference. They rather date overseas. They rather save their money, not invest in women locally. They rather save their money and travel overseas and build relationships with women overseas. That's their preference. Women are doing the same thing. And it's not exclusive to one particular race because, dating the States is difficult for all races right now. Let's go back to the video.
Guys, if you've been in the DR, you've been in Colombia, you've been in Brazil, you know that sometimes these ladies in some of these other communities, I'm not saying all the time, but they'll try stuff with our men that they would never do with the men in their community. And it's crazy because I see brothers actually doing more. Like, Black men in America, when they go to overseas, they're required to do more. Why? Because
we're required to do more. Now, I can't agree with that either. I can't agree with that at all either. I lived in Colombia for a year. I've been to DR so many times I can't even remember how to count there. I lived in Brazil for 7-8 months. I'm not extending myself more for foreign women than I am for American women. I'm going to tell you right now, American women get way more out of you than foreign women get out of you, bro. It's been times where I would do things that we're accustomed to doing washing dishes, cleaning up myself, and a woman will look at me like, men don't wash. What are you washing dishes? Like, what I'm saying? Looking at you like, washing. Men don't wash dishes. You know what I'm saying? That's or so to say that you're going to be going above and beyond more so for a foreign woman. In some cases, it could be. I'm just speaking from personal experiences. You're in Colombia, you got a Colombian girlfriend, bro. You're not gonna want for anything. If you're in Thailand, if you say something like "I'm hungry," Thai women will jump up in a heartbeat and hop in that kitchen without a second thought. They'll say, "Why you hungry? Why you didn't tell me to cook? I would have brought something over here, even if you don't have a kitchen." So I can't necessarily agree with that either. Let's get back to the video.
You're an American, you know what I mean? You're supposed to bring more money. You're supposed to bring more stuff. And then when you get with some of these ladies, they will show a lack of respect towards you, some of them, than they would do their own guys. I'm not saying this is the, situation, but this is what you see. And I believe because certain brothers have put these ladies on a pedestal because of their beauty, because of their booty. And then some of these ladies, they're in situations, guys, where
men put women on pedestals all over the world, bro. That's not just exclusive to black men, but let's go.
They're just, they're beautiful to us, but in their society, there's so many beautiful women there, they don't even think they're beautiful.
That's true.
I think what we do as black men, we gas their heads up. And
that's some truth to that.
know this is something that's true because some brothers go to Dominican Republic, shout out to Marcus A. Brown and E. Dean Cole.
Shout out to them. Both of them are boys.
They've talked about it, especially Marcus A. Brown. He talked about blowing up the spot, right? And a lot of brothers go there and they see these chicks and they just start overpaying because they're beautiful, because they're mulatto and stuff like that. So when other Americans come, the women start be like, okay, well,
I got that narrative. And if you see the video, they're mostly like lighter complected women. It kind of feeds into that black men are only dating the lighter complected and that's just not true. When I'm in Brazil, when I'm in Colombia, most guys are going to be with Afro-Colombians, Afro-Brazilians, sometimes even darker than their complexions. All right. So that feed that narrative like we're going above and beyond because that's feeding what some women want to hear. That's going to pander towards them to say, oh, look at them stupid black men going over there and messing with the women that don't care nothing about them. And I'm like, you're going to have some men that simp out over a beautiful woman. But if you're in America, you're not coming from a country where the women are ugly, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys that's in the travel spaces now have dated beautiful women in America as well. So it's not like the same rules apply. Beautiful women going to be a beautiful woman everywhere. Beautiful women require, in some cases, a certain standard. All right, no matter where you at. Now, South America is way different. That standard can be considered to be low to us. So when we come out there, yeah, we might do something a little extra than what the local men do. I'll give you a prime example. I'm in Brazil, and my boy will get mad at me when I tell the story. But I'm in Brazil. It is what it is. I can put his name out there. And I'm in a favela. All right, I'm in a favela. And, and this guy was from, not America. This guy was actually from Europe, I believe. He was somewhere in Europe, but he was a brother. And we in the favela. And beautiful favela girl, this beautiful Brazilian woman, she comes in and she has this brand new dress on, had the badge in her hand, and she's twisting around, showing off her new dress to the other girls in the favela. And the local guy, my other homeboy who's Brazilian, he's pissed off. And he's asking me like, yo, what's your man doing? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He was like, man, we don't do that. Like we taking her shopping. Like, what is he doing? I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Guys in America sometimes take the women shopping, So, in certain cases I can see that, but that's just more of a different men from different cultures do different things to show the women that they appreciate them. It is what it is. What you might think is normal, going out, taking a girl out to eat, taking her shopping, that might be not something that's usually done in that short period of time. Not to say foreign men don't court their women, but they more so date for a reason of marriage, and then they'll court or they'll take their wife shopping. You know what I'm saying? More so than just dating, taking the random female shopping. So it's some truth to what O'Shea is saying right there.
it's $200 for this or $300 for that, when, that same person in their community won't even give them $30 and they'll still do it for $30. And that's something I think black men got to stop doing. Black men have to stop downing publicly black women to the other racist ladies that they're dating.
Now,
what I'm saying?
Now, hold on. That's the main problem. The main issue I have for this video. All right. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm networked in heavily in Colombia. Most of you guys know that. I've been in travel space for, a couple of years now. I know a lot of guys, and that subject has never, not once came up. And we're going to finish out the video and I'm going to give my dialogue, but let me finish the video.
Give yourself leverage. Give yourself some respect, because you need to always respect at some point the level of the community that you come from, even if, no matter how bad it is. Whenever I go to Africa, I always talk about, good things going on for the most part, in the black community, because the black community is what support me. I'm talking about the black American community. They're the ones that allow me to do what I do every day. There is no way in hell I'm going to put somebody else supremely over the people that have made a way for me. And even though we may have problems with some of the women and some of the guys date out, you always want that leverage. Like, listen, if you're not living up to the standard, you're also gone. And I'm going to tell you guys like this. It is a blessing and a privilege for a lot of ladies to be dating an American man, especially a black American man. All right. For the things that, you can do, you can change their life if you're doing very good. You don't want to be taking more disrespect than the men in her community. And I've seen that happen many times, where you have black American brothers who are doing way more than the men of their communities, and you're getting way less respect than some of the guys that are there. And I believe the reason why that happens is that sometimes these women are being pedestalized to positions that their own men won't. And so many horror stories I've seen, guys who are doing this thing, for these women, and they go back and deal with these local guys who can't give them nothing. And if they're going to give you that kind of attitude, let their men take care of them. You know what I'm saying? You can stay in the black American community for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm going to put up with somebody else's stuff and I can go back to, Atlanta or Sacramento. I'd rather, if I'm going to put up with somebody's shit, I'll put up with it in the black American female community.
Good luck with that, bro. Good luck with that, because the integral difference that you have, if you're talking about just dating, whatever, but you're talking about marriages, relationships in the States that have the women have the court system on their side, that's the worst thing you possibly can do as a black man, is to get in a relationship, right, in America, and you're saying that, well, if I'm going to accept the BS, I'm going to accept it from my own women. Well, guess what? If you accept the BS in Colombia, in Thailand, in Brazil, all right, you don't have to worry about losing your whole life, your house, all right? You're paying alimony. You're paying child support. You don't even get a chance to raise your children, all right, because of the American court system that all men are complaining about and trying to make changes to currently right now. So that's a misnomer right there. That's not you should have to deal with no BS from any woman, no matter where you're at in the world. But to say that, well, I'll deal with it. If I'm gonna deal with the BS, I'm gonna deal with the BS from my own community. Well, bro, I'm gonna tell you, the community is in shambles. It's been in shambles for a very long time. And if you want to go deeper, we can go deeper. But I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm gonna respond specifically to black men, travel bros, dissing black women to farm women. I'm gonna respond to that. But if you want to go deep, you want to go really deep, all right. Unless you talk about saving the black community, unless you change institutional powers, basically you're going against institutions, right? Hospitals, we got so many things that we have to correct before we even go down to the relationship level. We got so many things institutionally, corrupt politicians, all right? We don't control our own media. We have so many issues at place that's really, if you're talking about fixing the black community, you're talking about a very, very difficult road. A very difficult road. And in some cases, if you want to be 100% real about it, if you want to be 100% real about actually trying to fix the black community, you have to start at that level, because the women belong to the state in America, baby. I'm sorry to tell you that, to educate you on that, but these women in America belong to the state, buddy. You better believe that. They prefer being with the state and they prefer being with you. That's why so many divorces. That's why they're so quick to put you on child support. They can get your resources and not have to deal with you and date who they want to date. So the system is on their side. So if you're talking about trying to fix the black community, then you got to start at the institutional level. You got to go all the way up to the top, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's another story for another day. Let's go ahead and get back to the statement of what he said as far as black men going overseas. Now, I'm going to bring some people up. In our relationships with foreign women, I can honestly say that subject has never came up with me personally, dating a woman overseas. Me talking down on women, black women in our community, never happened. I don't know anybody personally that sits there and talks about black women to their women that they're dating. It just doesn't happen. I don't believe that happens. You know, first of all, like I said, 9 times out of 10 of intimate conversations are going to come later down the line when you really get the gist of a relationship with a woman, right? You're going to have to learn some Spanish, learn some Portuguese to really interact with those deep conversations. So you're not going to go through all that through a translator, number one. Number two, when you're dating women overseas, guys, when you're dating women, she has a whole plethora of problems her own, coming from her family and her own culture. She's not concerned about the women of your past or the women in your community per se. She might ask a few questions here and there, but these women have their own lives, bro. They are in love with you. They want to be in a relationship with you. So that conversation is just not, I mean, nobody's sitting there talking about black women overseas in Colombia right now, bro. All right. Now, it might be different on the other hand. You might have black women talking down on brothers overseas. I have seen that. I've experienced that per se. I've been with black women overseas, and they tell me, oh, I don't date black men. I don't date American black men. And they'll be in the room for everybody. It'll be white Portuguese sitting right there. She'll say it in front of everybody. I don't say anything. That's her preference. She don't want to date. So I've heard that part. All right. It's been cases, man. I'm going to tell you, man, it's been some cold cases overseas where I run into American women, all right, and just totally get ignored. Just totally get ignored. I'll give you a prime example of a story. I'm in Colombia, all right. We are at this luxury downstairs hotel, one of the nicest hotels in Medellin, all right. Marble floors, big jacuzzis in every bedroom. I mean, it's just flashy, very nice, all right, very nice, polished. And that can throw you off, all right, because it's so nice, excuse me. So we have a crew, you know, you got Colombian women, Venezuelan women, everybody's in there partying and having a good time. And I see some American sisters in there, right? And it's all good. How you doing, sis? Where you from? One of them was very rude, extremely rude, just straight up nose, don't talk to me. Why are you talking to me type of stuff? Cool, no problem, no big deal, right? So these girls were freshly in Colombia and they didn't know the social rules of Colombia. One of the main social rules in Colombia is to never accept a drink from a stranger. Always look at the bartender. Even if you're in the bar, you make sure you look at that bartender, pour the bottle from the liquor from the bottle to your glass, specifically when you're taking shots or mixed drinks. You're watching your drink, all right? This girl was accepting drinks from everybody, all right? Gosh, she didn't know. She's thinking that, oh, we just had a party. I said, yeah, we had a party, but people have invited people that we don't know. Keep in mind, you know, I was hosting the party along with some of the other guys. So it's our party, and maybe she felt safe. But I'm like, I don't know everybody in here, you know, and that's not of our culture per se. You know, when we party in America, not especially in the black community, 9 times out of 10, unless you're a drug dealer or something, we're not just drugging people at our parties. So maybe she was comfortable, right? So I tell her friend, I say, hey, you know, your friend, you know, she wilding right now. She can't be just drinking everybody drinking. She's like, yeah, you're right. You think I should say something to her? I'm like, yeah, you her friend. You know what I'm saying? Say something to her. This girl disappears in the bathroom, messing with some Venezuelan guy, you know, getting played or whatnot, drunk. Don't tell her what she got in her drink, you know, but her attitude was so nasty towards, you know, the quote unquote black American men. She was willing to, you know, get messed up because of that. Then when something happens, guess what she's going to blame? If something happens, she's going to say, you know, well, black men didn't protect me. There's black men in the party. How y'all let me get drugged? You didn't speak to us. You had an attitude. So I've seen that on that side. And not in all cases. Like I'm cool with a bunch of American or black women in Colombia that I meet, overseas and everything. I'm just telling you that ball goes so both ways. If anybody dissing each other from a culture, is more likely going to be them. So that video really needs to be addressed to them more so than us, because when you're a man and you're moving and you're in a relationship with a foreign woman, you ain't just got time to talk about women from the States, bro. You're not even thinking about the States like that, especially if you live overseas. When you live overseas, you're not watching the news no more like that. You might see a few clips, a few mass shootings, but you're living in a whole different world. You got to be interested in what's surrounding you right now, especially in South America. All right, let me hit these super chats real quick. Then after that, I'm going to drop a link, bring some of you guys on. All right? We got a few out here. Okay, let me see here. All right, I don't want to get too off the subject, guys, so I'm going to try to stick with it. But I answer your questions as quickly as possible. Let me go here. Let's see. Okay, I got a lot of super chats. Let me see if I can catch it up. All right, here we go. Shout out to James G for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate that, my man. He says, will you interview more people about Japan? I sure will, man. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Japan. I'm actually going to interview a guy about South Korea sometime this week. We get our times together. All right. Shout out to MOT in the building. He says, man, tomorrow. He says, $2 super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, it's more reciprocal over there. Here it's less reciprocal. So basically what he's saying is you get more bang for your buck overseas than you do in the States. All right. They should be happy with less competition. You would think that. That's not always the case. All right. Shout out to Mike M. I caught that comment, bro. I see you in there. Shout out to Kasan J. All right. Shout out to Kirby P Films 1. That's what up, BMT. See you all in Rio. That's what's up. I'm in Thailand right now, man. I don't know if you still think I'm in Rio. All right. Shout out to my boy Delano for the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. We chop it up in Brazil. He said O'Shea made that. O'Shea made this corny video to get views. I can't stand when people try to tell you what you should versus shouldn't date. Shout out to Delano. Shout out to O'Shea too, man. But shout out for that $5 super chat. I appreciate that. You got Grego712 in the building. All right, let me catch some more. Here we go. Got another super chat here. Shout out to Chester Williams. He says, ultimately, dating is becoming global, which it is, and women in their respective localities need to understand that men now have more options than ever before. That's very true, man. That is very true. That is extremely true. I've met all types of guys out here in Thailand. A lot of European guys, Canadian guys, Australian guys, and a lot of them are dating Thai women. We don't discuss the problems. In some cases, you'll get a guy you meet. He'll talk about how bad his divorce was or something like that. Divorce laws in Canada are crazy, from what I hear. I mean, you'll talk like that about some of the dating scenes in some of these countries, but for the most part, man, I mean, the internet has made the world a whole lot smaller, rather. And if you can make money online, if you can have some type of residual income, you can live anywhere in the world. I mean, that's going to open up your dating market vastly. And what's going to happen is, women are going to have to compete. Women definitely going to have to compete. It is what it is. All right. Let me catch this other super chat. Shout out to Osuma Abdul for a $2 super chat. He says, BMT, is this podcast staying up for the replay? Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Shout out to Osuma Abdul. Osuma Abdul for a $2 super chat. I really appreciate that. All right, we got G Money Uptown in the building. He says, what do you like more, Brazil, Thailand, or DR? Okay. As far as me ranking, Thailand comes in at number one. All right, Thailand comes in at number one, most definitely. So many benefits to Thailand. There's a lot of benefits to living in Thailand. The cost of living is insane. All right, that's number one. It's pretty relatively cheap to live a comfortable and fun life in Thailand, and it's safe. Now, that's like the biggest factor to me is just that it's safe, man. Coming from Brazil and Colombia, it's like Brazil, it's safe to a certain degree. Most of the parts you're gonna be in. But I was in the North Zone. A lot of black folks is in Brazil, so it can get a little sticky. You'll hear gunshots at night. But I would say Thailand for me, Colombia after that, and I would say Brazil to the DR. That's from what I would rank them. All right. Shout out to James G for the $5 super chat. He says Taiwanese women are never approached by black men. In my experience, they are open to it. I find all U.S. men have it better overseas. Man. The cool thing I like about Thailand, I was telling a friend of mine was the fact that you get so many different types of Asian women here. You get European women here as well. You see Russian women here. You see some African women sprinkled in as well. But you're gonna meet women from Japan, South Korea. They all look very different, man. It's a beautiful thing. Very exotic women over here. All right. Shout out to that. All right, let me catch this last comment and we're going to get back to the show. Yes, we do put them on the pedestal, and this DR Colombia, Brazil. The same countries over and over, and the matrix is the whole world, not the U.S. The world is the matrix. All right, some truth to that. That's your opinion. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead. I've been talking for a while here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link. I know it's early over there in the States, but if you can come on, do me a favor and keep it clean. We're going to discuss this, All right, so I did drop the link in the chat. Okay, I'm going to have to kick this dude out real quick. Hold on. He talking about lady. He love lady boys. All right, this ain't the channel for you. All right? Ta-da. Give a shout out to C Listens on the show. With a $5 super chat, I really appreciate that. He says, Thailand gives you the peace of mind and high quality of life. Man, that's the truest thing ever, bro. Glad you are experiencing it. I appreciate that, man. Yes. Hey, travel cheaper than therapy, man. Real talk. Not in place of therapy, because some of you guys need therapy. But I'm telling you, man, it's I don't know what I would do if I had to move back to America. All right, Lenore Thomas, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on the show. All right.
Hey, right. BMT, what's going on, baby?
Hey, what's going on, my man? How's everything going with you?
Man, good, man. Remember I was on your show a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir. I remember.
And guess what? I got an update, and I'm finding a way to study. Remember how I was telling you about the PPC marketing stuff?
I remember.
And so I'm finding a way to build my passive income so I can start traveling.
That's what's up, man.
Because at first I didn't really know what I was doing, but now I'm finding as you start to study more and more, I'm finding a way to be able to do it. So it's becoming easier and easier. So I have another meeting today with you know this dude, but I have another meeting with him today to teach me about it, Dennis. And so man, it's gonna be really, really good
I think I mentioned that to you. Mentioned him to you, didn't it, Jean Pierre?
Yeah, he's really good at that. That's one of his things. So I'm having a meeting with him, but it's like, man, it's really good because I'm like, I don't want to say I'm at the doorstep, but so but I'm getting there. So we're getting really close. And so I want to start doing it by definitely no later than the next month. And so yeah, man, I'm really excited, and so my options can expand. But I just came in right now, BMT. So what I kind of missed the first 45 minutes of what you were talking about. I just seen the title. I just seen you kind of brought up like real briefly because I just missed it. You were basically saying that men in America are starting to pedestalize these women overseas and then let the cat out the bag too much.
Yeah. I'm doing a reaction video to my brother O'Shea Duke Jackson. But let me catch this comment real quick and I'll get back to you, bro. We got this coming here by Razor. He says foreign women only date American black men for their money. Okay, that's not true. But all right. And because black men accept BS, their own men won't travel for freedom and not the women. I couldn't disagree with you more, Razor. Now, if you want to come on the show, you're welcome to come on the show. Explain that. It's to me, it's almost a myth of you're going overseas, and women dating you for green cards, and bro, that's just not what's happening overseas for the most part. All right, you coming over there, you're different, you're interesting. In some cases, you're exotic to the people that are over there. All right, people attract. If you're a good-looking guy in America, you're gonna be a good-looking guy overseas. People gonna date. Especially it concerns the Colombian women, bro. The romance culture is so indicative to where, to their spirit and soul. It's like they only using you for money. All women using you for money, bro. Get over it. It is what it is. They want guys with some resources. It is what it is. That's their nature. All right. But to say that it's just one group of women so much better than the other, we're not saying that. But I just don't know where that myth comes in. I mean, you see it on 30 Day Fiance, guys like that. Let me tell you something, man. If you got some game, or I don't even want to say game, if you just be yourself, bro, and you don't be a sucker, then you'll be just fine dating women overseas. Nobody's most of the guys aren't rich or wealthy. They're not coming home to a Maybach in the driveway in a mansion. These women ain't just, hurting. You got women that lawyers and doctors in Brazil. So that whole narrative of, black men, nobody wants them, they're only using you for your money. That's BS, bro. That could be further from the truth. I had 2-3 girlfriends in Colombia, bro. It's just it's crazy, man, because we're not known for just having so much money and clout that women are only users for that. That's just not. Women ain't about to go through all that. You know how much work it takes for a woman to just not like you and just be specifically using you to get back to America, bro.
Yeah.
It's just not the case 9 times out of 10. If you're a man, in most cases you're an older man, so you got some dating experience. You should know if a woman's pretty much using you, bro. If every time you're around her, you spending money. There are no intimate moments where you're just in the crib chilling. She's in the kitchen cooking, dancing. I'll show videos of women in the kitchen cooking and dancing salsa, enjoying themselves. If she's not doing that, bro, then yeah, you're getting used. It is what it is. You can get used in America way quicker than you will overseas, in my opinion. All right. Shout out to James G. I think I called it super chat. Maybe I didn't. He says, I love my time in South Korea, safety and food. Yeah, I'm going to be interviewing a guy about South Korea sometime this week. Shout out to South Korea. All right. I think I got another one over here. Shout out to Jason. I find it strange when everyone talks down about black men traveling. I've dated quite a few foreign women, and most of them made more than me. Yeah, I don't know what's that narrative of guys going overseas dating women with sandals and poor and concrete slab floors. That's just that little. Once again, that's that little myth, that narrative. Brazil has one of the most growing economies in the world right now, bro. If you go to Brazil, you might be dating a lawyer or a doctor. Colombia, you might be dating a dentist. So it is what it is, man. But people going to say what they're going to say. And I'm going to drop a link one more time in the chat. All right. If any of you guys want to come on up, make sure you come on up. So, Leonard, you haven't been out of the country yet, have you?
Yeah. I've been to the Dominican 3 times because my mom is Dominican. Remember, I was telling you, but I don't speak Spanish. And this was when I was young, man. So I didn't really, when you're young, you're just there to travel and just have fun. And I'm on the plane, all that. So, but it's funny, BMT, that because this is what I'm gonna have to encounter. And I'm cool with it. Men, it's just they don't like us to travel. And what's crazy too, what I don't understand, like for example, the brother not throwing any shots and anything, but when he brought up the comment about them using us for our money. But when you go to Africa, in the lion pride, the lionesses want to be with the strongest lions. It is what it is. They're using it for his strength.
It is what it is.
It is. But think about it. If you want to feel better for yourself, I hate to say this, but we're using women for their looks. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it. We being materialistic too. We're not gonna go with no ugly woman. So I don't see. We're doing the same thing. It is what it is.
Exactly, man. We'll give a shout out to my dude Delanoy Music in the building. What up, Delanoy?
What's going on?
There he is.
Yeah, man, I'm here. I am not surprised that I'm not surprised O'Shea made that video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was hoping he wouldn't make a video like that, but man, the guy just fell into that trap. I can't believe it, but you know, isn't he in Africa? And he's saying that he prefers African American women.
Yeah.
Then why isn't he back in the US?
Yeah, man.
Why?
I called my boy out on that. I called him out on that during the video. I said, wait a minute, man.
Yeah.
If women are your certain preference, then you're definitely going to date the women around. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in America, bro. You got resources to live in America. So if they was truly your preference, you would be in America. That was a little cap. That's my boy though, still. All right, let me catch this. We got a lot of people coming in the room now. The Seattle Side Show.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on this topic a little bit too. I usually speak on what's the name, International Passports channel and Charles Faulkner, a few others. But yeah, I'm here in Europe now. I just started working remote a few months ago. I'm in Poland now. I was in Norway. I've also been to Mexico. And to be honest with you, I guess in my opinion, at least, I'm not 30 yet. I'm in my late 20s. But from my experience so far, I think that if you want the top tier women in any country, the basics still pretty much are the same no matter where you're going. And I'm saying that because when I would approach women in Seattle and whatnot, the top tier women, so to speak, let's say 18 to 23, let's say they're attractive, and in between 18 and 23, it's pretty much the same no matter where you go, in the sense that now it's definitely easier. Like, you don't have to put up with Norwegian women aren't gonna, bitch you out. Polish women aren't gonna do the crazy stuff that you see in the States. But for the most part, you can't cheat the game, as Kevin Samuels would always say. You still have to be interested. You still have to have some little game. And I know a lot of guys in the passport space don't like to hear this, but you still do need game for the top level of women, in the sense that you still got to have some type of hobbies about you. You still have to be decently attractive, whether that's lifestyle and, your looks. And that's just how it is. There are countries, of course, where you can just show up with a wallet and women are going to be on your program. But when it's all said and done, we can debate whether or not that's true desire, which is a whole nother topic in itself. So yeah, there's places you can go where you can show up with money and the women are just on your program. But I think, especially even in those countries, if I want the top tier women in Thailand or Colombia, 22 years old, good looks, good family, you most likely are going to need more than just money. That's all I'm saying. So that's what I wanted to kind of speak on with this, as far as,
now you made some good points, bro. Let me go ahead and welcome in the Flyboy Way. I'm gonna get to you, Galoy, Ali, and DJ Cutter. I'm gonna get to you guys in a second, but I gotta holler at my dude, the Flyboy Way. He out there moving and shaking. What's going on, the Flyboy Way? What up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why to check out the channel. What's going on, BMT?
What up, player? What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, man. Like I said, I'm actually on light duty for work for like one more day, so I actually had time to actually come on and join the conversation with this conversation you're having here. It's amazing, man.
Man, yeah. We gotta talk about it. So you travel the world. You've been to Colombia. You've been all those places,
right?
And I know you still dating the States too, right? You still date. I see you in your videos. Yeah.
Of course.
Now, do you know of any guys that sit there and down black women to foreign women?
All right. So here's the thing. I'm going to start. When you guys got to allow me to make the statement, because if you catch it at any point, it may be. Oh, you may take it a different way.
Go ahead.
In the statement that O'Shea said, he's not wrong. He's completely right. But we have to realize this. He's right from his perspective because everyone has the ability to have their own perspective. But if we're going to say, is it true? Well, then we have to base it on what is considered true. Now, what I feel as though O'Shea did with this is, and like I said, I'm all for the black person. I'm all for the black brother, black sisters, black everything. If you see my channel, you know what it is. But I believe what O'Shea is doing with this situation is because in the United States, we've been taught the European history. We've been taught the European way of thinking, European way of schooling, and the European way of everything. And the European history or history in general is not inclusive. So what O'Shea, I believe, is doing on this is he's not being inclusive of everyone. Because if you're inclusive of everyone, then you can't possibly make this statement. You see, as myself, as you know, I travel often. I follow O'Shea sometimes, but not most of the time. But I don't really see him traveling a lot. So if you've traveled in the past and you're not consistently traveling, you're not interacting with people around the world, it's kind of difficult for you to make a statement that's going to be true if you're not interacting with the crowd that you're talking about. See, that's what Europeans did when they talked about the slaves. So they've seen slavery one way and they wrote it in history. That's the history we follow. So slaves, they've seen it in a whole different way, but no one ever included them in the conversation. So that's what I feel as though O'Shea is doing with the whole conversation, which I say he's completely right because it's his perspective. But as a perspective of someone who travels very often, it doesn't matter how many countries you've been to because there's travelers who go to 108 countries and they never interact with anybody. And that doesn't give you a full explanation of the culture. But I interact in every country I go with people. I speak multiple languages. Yo falo português. Yo hablo español. Falo francés. Well, I mean, it's a different perspective. So like I said, I don't down the brother for his perspective, but I refuse, and that's why I made the Black Man's Guide to World Travel, because I refuse to allow my perspective to be not inclusive of everybody, whether you don't live the way I live or whether you're from a different race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality. I refuse to let my perspective as the Black perspective to be non-inclusive like the European perspective of history was.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What part in that video do you agree with? Do you agree with him saying that Black men are pedestalizing foreign women?
Oh, no. Listen, I never said I agree with anything. What I said was that he's not wrong. You see, it's a difference between me saying I agree with that. That's not my perspective at all. But to say he's wrong is to say that his perspective is wrong, that he's not allowed to have that perspective. So I would never say another person is wrong, especially a Black man, because we went through too much. But so he's not wrong. That's his perspective. But I will say that his perspective is not inclusive, which takes it further away from the truth than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this: in your experience,
in my perspective,
your perspective, do you see Black men pedalizing foreign women?
Not at all. Not at all. See, because here's the thing: when the Black man's overseas, from my experience and from the Black people I've met overseas, they do not even think about what's happening back home because we as Black people are just opening up to the world. Like if you think about it, 17% of Black people I think travel internationally. Don't quote me on this, but 17% of Black people travel internationally. Of that percentage, only like 7% is men. And of that 7% that obtain passports and travel, they're not going over there to talk about what's happening here. We're going over there to experience something that we never knew existed because it's not on TV. We wasn't taught it in schools. So to assume because you haven't talked to enough Black men or you haven't traveled enough that Black men are thinking about the negative things that happen back in the States when they go over there and they experience a positive experience, it's a bad experience. It's a bad thought process.
Exactly.
I mean,
especially when you're dating a woman in Colombia or DR or something, you're not even going to bring up what's going on, your dating experience in the States like that.
And the thing is that to think, and I gotta get a car a little bit, but to think that like a woman who's from another country, right, who doesn't really speak the language, is going to ask a Black man about, or ask a white man, or ask anybody about what's going on in their country with their women, it shows the lack of knowledge of travel or the lack of knowledge of how things actually work. And as you guys know, like I'm not just talking internationally. Like when there are Black men who have bad they're not able to like talk to women in the United States. I'm not one of the black men. As you know, I talk to a lot of women in the United States, black, Spanish, white, Asian, all of that because of my personality, not my game, not my my monetary status also, but my personality. And the one thing I've learned is that if you have enough money, you'll get the same exact experience overseas and in the States, because money is going to be the ultimate divider. But a lot of black men, because of our situation, a lot of black people, because of our situation in the United States, we don't have that money. So we're not going to get that same, like if you go to these rappers and you go to these celebrities, you think they have the same opinion of women in the States as we do, who are, or not now, but as people who are like normal 9-to-5 workers? No, they don't, because they have the money, and it takes away from the basic principles of that. But if you, like I said, you have to always go on. Like I said, he's not wrong. O'Shea's not wrong. It's his perspective. You just have to go on understanding where his perspective is coming from to see if it's close to the truth or not.
Okay. Good point. I want to give a shout out to Razor with a $5 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. He says, if you're hooking up with women picked for looks and swag, you aren't getting top tier women. You're getting 304s. Traditional women aren't doing that. All right. Shout out to Razor for the $5 super chat. All right. Let me catch this other one real quick. I'm gonna give a shout out to Dividend K with the $5 super chat. He says O'Shea is the one that said he's never seen true femininity until he went to Poland. Dude went to Howard University. All right. Shout out to the Dividend K with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Mr. G's World with the $10 super chat. He says if O'Shea, Kevin Samuels, Coach Greg Adams, all right, I believe that's Coach Greg Adams, Donovan Sharp, and others don't travel, why the heck are they supposed to grift? If dating coaches, red pillars tell black men to travel, how are they supposed to make money? I think I see what you're saying there. It's a little all over the place. I think I see what you're saying there. That these guys are not going to tell guys to travel the world because that's going to hurt their market share. I agree with that, Mr. G's World. Appreciate that $2 super chat. All right. Okay. Let me go to Galoy Ali. Galoy Ali, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, brother. How's it going?
Man, how's it going, man? How's everything with you?
Oh, pretty good, brother. I first time calling in on your show. Appreciate you having it. I spent a lot of time in China. I lived there for about 6 years, and I traveled to the Philippines and Thailand, Cambodia, pretty much all over Asia during that time. So, well versed on it. I heard what O'Shea said a few times, not anytime recently, but he kind of chimes in on the subject, here and there. And I actually unsubscribed to him just for the simple fact that I realized he has kind of a audience of sisters and brothers, and he kind of needs to say some, entertaining, maybe incendiary.
He's on the fence. He's in between.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah.
He plays both sides, and sometimes it gets a little incendiary, and he needs to do that. But from my experience, brothers that I met abroad don't really have any disparaging words about sisters, but they don't really have a whole lot to say about sisters. They're kind of living their life, kind of like brother, like Flyboy underneath me said. They live in their life and experiencing that new environment, and the treatment of the women that they're around are so different, and they're enjoying it. And, they're pretty much enjoying themselves to where they're not negative about sisters. It's not really in your mind. We all had a good time. Brothers was winning out there.
It's not even in the scope of conversation.
Exactly. So, that was my experience. Just to chime in on that, I thought brothers was doing really well out there. I don't think brothers needed to be real rich. Some just had online jobs, like basic online jobs, but with the currency exchange, it was doing pretty well. And they all not getting the 10s, but plenty of brothers is happy with a 7 or an 8. And she might be traditional, and a lot of brothers is cool with that. You don't gotta always, have a 10 or whatever. Exactly. So brothers is doing good out there, man.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, real quick, let me I'm gonna drop off because I got a lot of people in the back end. I'm gonna drop you off with Nard and Delano. I appreciate y'all coming on. I'm bringing a couple of other guys up. Let me catch these super chats real quick. I want to give a shout out to the Beta Male Police with $10 super chat. I appreciate that. He says, I'm happy for brothers are traveling and having fun, but stop disrespecting yourselves and wrap up. You might be clean, but the locals don't give a F. Yeah, you know what? That's a whole subject for another day, bro. That is a whole entire subject for another day. But you absolutely right. Some of these guys be tripping when it comes to that. All right, shout out to Man Tomorrow $10 super chat. He says, I can explain what is happening here. MOT, if you want to come on, bro, you're welcome to come on. All right. Let me get Pablo in here, Mr. G's World. I've been seeing a lot of your content, and Cameron Dowers in the building. I'm gonna start off with you, Pablo. You there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. What's going on, my brother?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, man. So now I want to pose a question. So let's say we're going out to eat, and we're going to eat chicken.
Okay.
Right? We all like chicken. We want some chicken. And the first place we're going to go to is Popeyes, but it's the Popeyes in the hood.
Okay.
You walk in, it's not moving. You probably experienced this.
Okay, you cutting out a little bit, man. You cutting in and out a little
They
bit.
act like you're bothered. They act
go ahead.
Order. You get your order. You walk out.
Pablo,
right,
bro. You cutting out. You cutting out a little too bad, man. I'm gonna come back to you. You might be in a bad area. I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna come back to you. All right. Let me get Mr. G's World.
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah,
Good
that
morning,
brother. I don't know if he's still trying to talk, but good morning, bros. Do you receive me? Do you copy me good?
Yeah, we sure do. We got you.
Okay. Shout out to Flyboy. Shout out to MOT and all the traveling bros and SYSBM bros out there, man. I won't be long, man. I'm just make my comments and hop off, man. You already saw my super chat. It is part of the many things that MOT and a few other people who have their eyes open talk about on this platform is that people need to sell their bullshit. You need people to stay on the plantation. If they leave the plantation, and again, I know this plantation rhetoric is usually associated with just and here's the crazy thing. The people that promote this plantation rhetoric sometimes, those are these exact same, supposedly, highly conservative people, whatever, yada yada. So I'm not gonna turn this into a political talk, but leaving the plantation. If you leave the plantation, where are they supposed to find people to sell their product to? So they will not promote traveling or outside thinking, outside, different views and things of that nature, because they need you. The red pillars need you to keep on beating this damn message, this message of submission and shit like that, which you're never going to get. And I tell folks this all the time. I mean, I don't really have a channel, things of that nature to really promote. I don't have a big channel, whatnot, to promote this, but just one of the things, once I do get to have, get to be out there with my channel, I need to push out there. You guys need to forget, as long as you're in the matrix, stop talking about this submission shit, okay? I don't even know why guys do this shit. You're not going to get it.
Keep it clean for me a little bit, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't know why guys promote this crap called submission, and they have hours of panel on this crap. You're not going to get it here in the United States. Stop kidding yourself. And then the folks that are parroting these talking points, they need you to stay believing in it. Believe in the fight, brothers. Believe in the fight. We can change them. We can, and then the message, yeah, they're gonna come to the table. It's gonna be winter. Because these women, they're gonna lose their job, and they're gonna come to what? No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. That man,
I remember when Obsidian was saying that. I was like, Obsidian, what are you talking about? But yeah, go ahead.
yeah. It's not. It is selling. It's selling these guys this reality, and to be honest with you, just like Flyboy said, like me, I have no problem in the United States getting play. I get play, right? I got a mouthpiece. I can talk to people. Matter of fact, I'm shocked a lot of the times, and this is not bragging, right? A lot of the times, I'm shocked how easy it is to get boxed in the United States, bruh. It is so easy to get boxed in the United States, but I don't know about y'all that actually get boxed or whatever. I'm not gonna trip, right? Look, it's not like I'm getting dimes. I have one of my brothers, he's in Colombia, married to a Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
He always say this. In the United States, I was getting boxed, but I wasn't getting dimes. People don't get dimes in the United States. I mean, I know a lot of guys, they love to brag, when they got their little mouthpiece, they're like, yeah, I get dimes, da 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 da. People are not getting dimes like that in the United States. I'll stop right here for now.
Okay, all right. Let me go to, I think, Cameron Dowers. You've been waiting for a minute, bro. You there? Cameron Dowers.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for bringing me up on the show.
Bro, you're breaking up a little bit, man. I have to come back to you. We got a lot of people waiting. You're breaking up a little bit. Try coming back in.
Okay.
All right. Yoga.
What's going on, Black Man Travel? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. What's going on with your day, my brother?
Oh man, I'm glad you over there in Thailand. I'm in ATL right now up in Vinings area, but I'm about to jump on the plane. I'm gonna be down in DR for the next 3 weeks.
That's
or something like that. I might go to Colombia. They got all the travel restrictions. The U.S. stopped the COVID testing and stuff. So yesterday, so be moving around. But on this, these brothers, I guess out here on the YouTube and on social media and the manosphere is saying that the travel community, the brothers that travel, are putting women on pedestals. That's what's reverberating out there. Well, a lot of people need content. A lot of people need content, and this is coming back up in their content cycle. This will always be a play card in the content cycle for the system of back in the Matrix where we at, because we play directly into it. They want us to try to attempt the procreation, the nuclear family. They're playing on our wants and natural desires as men to have a nuclear traditional family. This has been a religious system that we've been brought up in the U.S. And then they have went on the books and changed the family law books. Like the brother who kind of just spoke a few minutes ago. We all know the playbook. No matter if you faithful or marriage is going good, if you switch up the law books, the family law books are already there. So a lot of people that have YouTube pages that push a certain topic on the travel communities, that brothers that travel, those brothers have went through situations where their kids have got ripped away from them from the family courts, and literally there's nothing they can do. So YouTube and the internet is our outlet to speak out on this. So a lot of people start making money. They've been kind of the first to get up on the YouTube and start doing the things. And so it gets a lot of attention because millions of us, all of us will be affected at one point in time when you have kids or when you get married by the U.S. family laws. So it's a little bit of that. So I would say young brothers who don't have kids and stuff like that, don't listen to the rhetoric that you see online about the shaming about brothers that travel this world, this planet out of the U.S. and the shaming tactics, and they talking negative, and then they try to talk negative about the country and about the woman and this and that. You got to still go out, young brothers, and explore and realize that the people that giving these messages and the shaming tactics, these people have had bad experiences in life. They have been burned by the unjust laws and family laws. And so they're speaking from that standpoint. What you need to do, young brothers, is look at what's going on and then know what's going with the steps and the laws, and then understand how to navigate. A lot of brothers are getting on planes and traveling, going to other countries because we see the laws are different. A man won't get raped if he has a kid or have a family, and he won't lose all his assets and everything he worked for all his life slaving over in America. So they try to bring out the shame tactics. No, we're just going to the other matrix that the Europeans are colonized on this planet, but they have the laws still set back how the laws were in the U.S. in the 20s and 30s and 1910s, where a man didn't family and assets wasn't snatched away from him. So all you young brothers and all you haters of the black man out of the USA that travel, no, we researching these countries. We're looking at their family law structure. Then we pass the information along, and then we let the brothers know, hey, if you're over here, even if you find one, you fall in love, you're not going to get taken around the corner. So brothers say, hey, being smart businessman, I want to have a nuclear family. I'm going to take my risk with the nuclear family. It's all a risk. There ain't no guarantees, but I'm going to go into a land where I won't be alienated from my son and my daughter, and I won't lose my house and my car and threaten my job and all that. So that's all it is. These are brothers that want nuclear families. So while y'all try to shame and say it's tricking in this, no, y'all ain't gonna trick us in the US to sign that contract and get rodeoed like we seeing all the millions of brothers. And shout out to all the brothers that have went through this family stuff, got your kids taken away in child support and driver's license, you can't work. Thank y'all brothers for coming on this YouTube on all these platforms and sharing your story and speaking out. Because and letting all of us know what we really facing and what's on the table for us. So that's what we doing. And shouts out to all the brothers. That's it. No, we're not pedestalizing no woman. We're going where the law is fair. All right, can y'all hear me?
BMT, we hear you, Yogi Yoga. BMT, we cannot hear you if you're talking.
Oh,
yeah. My bad. I had myself on mute, guys. But no, I was just saying, very good points, Yogi Yoga. You're dropping number gems as usual. Let me get to DJ. Is that Kuda or Cutter?
It's Kuda. What's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
What's going on, man? How's everything going with you?
MOT. Just say something. Go ahead. Just go ahead, MOT. I know it's very good to come up here and say something. Go ahead.
MOT, you want to go ahead and go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. I mean, that guy's anti everything that we're talking about on the panel. I'm not even sure why he's even up here. But
that's a good thing. But we'll go ahead.
No, but it is a good thing. It's a good thing because there's no dialogue back and forth. There's only shots in the dark, pandering towards people's baseline desires of trying to have a family. So that's what they're really doing. It's an emotional ploy, and just pandering. It's an orchestrated car crash, especially with somebody who lives overseas. Like he made the point, and it's like it's not hard to understand that the restrictions that are put on men are not even put on women within the same environment. It's okay for a woman to be as promiscuous as she wants because she feeds the other men inside the environment. So they want us to stay to take care of their kids inside the environment, right? They want us on the stepdad carousel. And it's like, listen, we just want fresh people with a fresh perspective that ain't too upgraded. And yes, of course, you get a better treatment when you go to a better environment where men actually organize for their own power. Here, men organize against their own power and give women all the power so that way they can keep women as promiscuous as possible so that way they don't have to produce. Most men here don't have the level of production. They have the level of pandering, but not the level of production. This is why entertainment is such a thing over here, and it's not even respected at all when you go to other places. So it's so you can say that stuff behind paywalls and not all this stuff, but see, they're afraid to debate the issue because when you debate the issue, now you got to come up with a cast of women who's pre-vetted, who's not going to be doing this type of stuff. You see, that's what the answer is. We're trying to get to a better place where we're dealing with a better crop of candidates. This is not the candidates. Nobody's going to make me deal with a worst group of people. I wouldn't suggest women deal with the worst group of people. I'm just saying that I want the freedom to be able to explore that everyone else has. That's all I'm about, is the freedom of men to be able to go along. We know that they have to pander to these men who are stuck here. A lot of men are stuck here. They're stuck. They literally cannot travel, cannot go anywhere. And yes, and that's not even a system that we're even trying to fix over here. We're not trying to work across the aisle with white men or Latin men or Asian men or Native American men about fixing this issue. So we just decided to go to another place where they don't have these issues. It's no different than what the guy was bringing up about the Popeyes chicken. You can either have one in the hood, that have a 30-minute wait time, or you can go to Chick-fil-A over in the middle class area where you're gonna be in and out of there and better service. We have the right to go around and do as we please. It's almost like we don't have a level of free expression. That's the problem. And somehow you're supposed to have more game and delusional thinking to kind of help yourself cope with the bad mechanisms and try to be overly expressive within the environment that's not acclimated to you. So that's what the problem is here. It's like we don't have the free expression. We always have to operate within a level of restriction. Like you can't go to another country and do this type of stuff. There are consequences for that. So that's all I can say.
Good points. Very good, solid points. Let me catch the super chat, and I'm gonna go back to Pablo, and then I'm gonna get you on here, DJ Cutter, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Okay. Shout out to Amos Brown, the $5 super chat. He says, "Black men need to travel. When the mind is stretched, it can never go back to its original form." That might be the super chat today, right there. That's a good point. Good point, Amos Brown. Pablo, you there?
Yeah, how's that? It should be a little better now.
Much better, bro.
All right. So yeah, to my story that I was telling about Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. So yeah, you go to the Popeyes, in the hood, and they act like you bothering them to take your order. You waited in a line for 40 minutes.
Hey, that hit me right here because it's true.
Right. So
I love
because
that analogy. It's perfect description, bro.
Yeah,
right, because it's a reflection of the culture, right? And you get it, and now that you get back to the car, you're just ready to go, and you look and your order's wrong, right?
Right.
And so now a couple of weeks later, you're looking for chicken again. You still want chicken, right? And you say, well, I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A today. Oh man, you pull up, the line is long, but it's moving really quickly. They're taking your order, they're asking you what you want, they're smiling at you, they're providing for all the needs and things that you need, and you get to the front and they have your order and it's perfect. Now it's not perfect every time, but most of the time it's pretty damn good experience. And so are we really putting them on pedestals, or are we telling other men about our positive experience? So O'Shea, is not that we're putting them on pedestals, it's that we're coming back and telling other men about our positive experience. Not that every woman you date or are with is going to be your wife, but if you leave the experience with a more positive feeling about it, all that resentment, all that anger, all of that pent up frustration is not there. I've had dealings with foreign women that I didn't end up in a relationship with, but I still have a positive, and I know any of the brothers that travel have experienced this. Even though it didn't work out, it's not contentious. It's not no anger between you. It's none of that.
Still talk to them.
Still talk to them, right? And so it's not an adversarial kind of a thing. It's just a relationship in the way that men and women were supposed to be.
Yeah. It was mutual respect given. It didn't go to that next level of disrespect that they can in the States. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna make your life hard, and I'm gonna do all I can to make you miserable and all that. Yeah, and none of that.
Exactly. All right, go ahead, brother. DJ Kuda.
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, man. My bad. I got my shit keep cutting off. I got Farrisceo wireless and shit. So my shit been cutting off, man. I mean, how I look at it is like I don't look at it the same way a lot of brothers look at it. When you travel, it's not a group project. You know what I'm saying? You're going out by yourself. There's a lot of other stuff to worry about. When you get to certain places in other countries, other than the women. I mean, the last thing I worry about is the women. I'm more worried about where you gonna stay, type of stuff you gonna do and stuff like that, where you gonna go, do you know how to get back to your spot? You know what I'm saying? Things like
That's
that,
facts.
like when you out here, you got to keep women up off you type shit. Not even the other way around. I also got to be, conscious that let's just keep it 100, man. I did a whole couple of shows talking about traveling. I ain't even mention women. You know what I'm saying? But it's not appealing to get brothers to travel to tell them, okay, this is what you're gonna have to go through in the airport. These are the type of papers you gotta have and stuff like that. So in a lot of cases, when we talk about traveling, a lot of brothers take the approach of talking about women because let's just keep it 100. Women are the catalyst for a lot of dudes to get up on these planes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If I was to tell you how to get your Thailand pass, niggas ain't that don't appeal to niggas. You know what
Keep
I'm
it
saying?
clean for me, bro. Keep it clean for me.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, so if I tell you how to do that, it don't appeal to them. But you know what I'm saying? If I was to talk about women, that's what's gonna get them out here. Look, it's not even that serious. Just get out where you want to go, enjoy what you're doing, learn the language, learn the culture, learn how to live just like the people. It ain't about the women. The women are gonna come. There's a language gap. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you got to keep in mind. um I'm not even gonna lie, but when you travel, you're gonna run into a lot of whack brothers, you know what I'm saying? But as long as you got your demeanor and stuff, and you just moving solo and you doing your thing, they're gonna come to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here in Bangkok right now in the old city, and I'm like, I don't even care
Yeah.
about that shit. You know, I'm
When you mentioned Farang Wireless, I was like, oh, he in Thailand.
bruh. Do you know what this is? I know you know what this is.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Bruh, go outside. This is the most stinkiest fruit ever that they got out here. I just tried it earlier today. I think it's called the Durin or something. They sell this in Thailand. You gonna see these on the back of a truck. This is bad. I left this shit on my balcony, man. This shit stinks, but it's nice out here, man. I'm loving it. You guys, like I said, there's other shit you got to worry about. There's like wild dogs and stuff out here, and
Oh
different.
man, I turned down the street. You
Huh?
know, okay, I thought I lost you. I said I turned down. I was coming back from the store. And I was on my
Yeah.
street. I turned down the street just to see. Sometimes just be riding around.
Yeah, my bad.
I turned down the street and it's like 15, 20 wild dogs. I'm like, oh snap!
Yeah.
Look around.
Crazy at night though. They hide during the daytime, but they
Yeah, they be. Yeah, it's a lot of wild. It's a lot of wild dogs out here, man. But let me catch the super chat real quick, man, and I'm gonna get my guy Dre the Kid to chop it up with us. Shout out to Ice Wody with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, anytime black men do something that's not approved by the matriarchy or the community, of course you're going to receive pushback. There's definitely some truth to that. What up, Dre?
What's happening?
What's going on with you, brother? How's everything going with you?
Hey, just cooling it down here, cooling it, trying to.
Tell us where you at currently.
Conversation.
Where you at currently, bro?
Barranquilla, Colombia.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So go ahead. What you want to chime in, bro?
Hey, I like that last super chat. I mean, because as black men, we hear it a lot, but those of us that definitely live outside the country, or you're outside the country for long periods of time, a lot of this stuff you can't get caught up in because you're listening to people that you're overseas. They're back at home and they're complaining about what you're doing in a whole nother country. You're out here living your life, you're happy, regardless of what kind of females you're dealing with or what you're doing on your trip. You're not even in the States anymore. You left that behind. So stop getting so caught up on what these people saying back home. If they could do what you were doing, they would be there. But because they're not there is why they're talking about you.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Now, let me ask you this, man. In concerns of the video that we just watched, responding to O'Shea, in your experiences, do you know of any guys or yourself included that talk down on black women to foreign women?
No, it's not even a thing that comes up in conversation. If anything, for example, my girl, I've been with her for a little over a year now. When she asks me questions about the States, or it's usually to learn about the dating culture, to compare it to here in Colombia, or just to learn more things about America, just for knowledge. But they could care less about what's going on in America, more or less a black female in America. That's not topics of conversation. There's other stuff going on down here. It's a whole nother world. Like there's more. Yeah, there's more to the world than what's going on in America at that moment. People ain't sitting in other countries talking about what you got going on back in America. It don't happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like black men are putting foreign men on the pedestal out there in Colombia?
No, not at all. Because you come down to, I've traveled the globe. It's many countries I've been to. I just happen to live in this one currently. Men appreciate what they get culture-wise from these women. These women in these foreign countries, they grow up in a culture. The culture is big. It's important. For some of us that are from America, that's a hard concept to understand, because we have a culture, but not equivalent to some of these other places. So when they're experiencing some of these positive things that in America, some of the women, they're just not going to do that stuff. You're not going to have a female that wakes up in the morning, cooks you breakfast, and makes your lunch before she goes to work. She just does it just because it's normal. You don't even have to ask her to do that. In the States, it's just not like that. I ain't gonna hammer them too bad, but we all know there's some things that if you are with a woman in the States, it's your girl. If it's one of those 50-50 type relationships, or if you're a more capable individual, as far as income, maybe your wife doesn't work. My ex-wife didn't work. There's some stuff that you're just not gonna have. You'd be lucky to get a meal every day that's cooked. Now, granted, if you got kids in the house, maybe you'll get a meal every day or something like that. But in these other countries, that stuff comes standard. Like, they just do it and you don't say anything. It's just there. And then they go the extra mile. And it's not even about the people will say, well, it's about the money, or they want you for a green card, different things like that. No, that's not how that works. These women in these countries, they could care less about. They visit America if they want to, or you might have some that may want to go work a little bit, make some money, send it back home. They're not trying to come live in America. They see our culture on TV. They don't want no part of that. These people are proud of their culture. They don't want nothing to do with America like that. That's a massive misconception.
Do you mind if
Big misconception.
You mind if I chime in on that real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Women in these foreign countries, they're dealing with Americans like 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like we're around them 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the guys that like hype up, like because I didn't know, I didn't see the O'Shea thing. I was asleep, but like what I'm saying is like a lot of the guys that hype up, foreign women over Black American women. A lot of times, those are the brothers that were on holiday or something like that. They were taking a vacation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, those, with like the passport and SYSBM and all that other stuff, those are like a small slither of brothers that are, just reporting back. They never thought about going to a country to live. They're going to a country on holiday and stuff like that. So, a lot of what they're saying is like a vacation or something that they take and stuff like that. They're more tourist brothers. If I come to Thailand, I'm coming to live like Thai people. You know what I'm saying? If I go to Colombia, I go to live like Colombian people and stuff like that. And like I said, when you traveling, you alone. So a lot of times, you got to be cognizant about how other brothers with passports are moving also, because those women come into contact and encounter those brothers. You got a lot of women out there in the DR and in Colombia talking about SYSBM. It's like, bitch, how you know? Like, how you know about that? Because a lot of these brothers, they get out there, they start running their like that. These aren't that are going to live.
Hey, you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but it's definitely some truth to that, man. Because we was in Colombia. I was with Dre, as a matter of fact. We in Colombia, and they were telling us about Black Men Travels, the Facebook group. And I'm like, how y'all know about Black Men Travels?
Yeah.
So it's out there, man. It's out there.
But see, brothers need to, in my opinion, need to be more like the ones that they travel a lot, like Flyboy. I remember before I started traveling a lot as a civilian, they need to be more like this brother. Like he travels, he interacts with the cultures that in the areas that he goes to, and when he goes back to the States, he's the same individual. But there's too many of the guys that travel. They stay in that little pocket and little tourist traps. They never leave. They're in that other country, and they go back home, and they got all this stuff to say about the country they went to. And they never experienced anything but a couple streets. They're scared to come out their apartment. They don't learn the languages. I mean, you're not going to interact with none of the regular or the locals, the regular females or any of the locals if you can't communicate. You're not going to pull out your phone, and every time you need to say something, you got to talk in your phone, hit Google Translate, put the phone in front of it. Like that, it don't work like that. It's not going to happen.
Here's what I want. Here's what you guys hear me, because I'm back home now.
Yeah.
No, you good, bro.
Here's what I want to say about this. I was watching the whole thing. There was a lot of points I wanted to chime in, but I was driving, so I couldn't do both. So I'm going to go with this last point. In America, us as blacks have been miseducated for the longest, right? Just in general, since slavery days, we've been miseducated. So it's going to be very difficult to get all black people on the same level. So I presume that maybe impossible to save all black people. However, the reason why, and I think it's gonna sound crazy, but the reason why a lot of people have to put the women up there on videos for people to actually listen is because when we were slaves, the person who was the biggest tall black guy was bred with the women. So the biggest slave would get bred with the women, and so everybody would idolize the guy who got all of the women, who got to do whatever he wanted because they wanted to be like him. Now, because of that, it's still in our mentality. Now, it's not as bad as you got to be big, but the fact that you got to have money, the fact that you got to get women, is bred in our culture as black people from the United States. It's bred in our culture. So automatically, when you see a black man traveling and he's doing stuff like activities and stuff, you're not going to be interested because it's not your fault. It's just the culture that has been taken over from slavery that we really have no control over because we don't run America. We run the United States. So it needs to be, if you really want to get people to listen to even the fact that like me, I tell people I speak different languages, I interact with the people, but I don't expect everyone to grasp onto that right away because of the fact that I know that they're going to be thinking women. So the issue is, like you said, this brother that only go to the tourist area is because they haven't been going long enough to really open their mind of education to other stuff. Eventually, they're going to go and they're going to want to learn different parts. They're going to become us who have traveled long enough to where we want to learn the language. We want to be able to communicate with the people. But that process is going to be a long time because, listen, slavery, like 400 years of miseducation, it doesn't go overnight. So right now, the 6 or 7% of black men who travel the world, maybe only 3% of them, of that 7%, only 3% of them think like we do. Not to say that we're right, but just think like we do. But the more of us that spread that message, and this is why I didn't try to kill O'Shea's comments, because like I said, I don't really have the same perspective as him, but I would never say he's wrong because that's his perspective. This is why I don't kill people who say, oh, that's wrong, I travel more, I know everything. No. What I'm saying is that let me give you a different perspective that's inclusive of other people from other cultures' perspective that is closer to what we consider the truth than yours because of the fact that I interact with people on the regular. This is not me traveling 5 years ago. This is me. I just came back from Costa Rica last month. So this is what I'm saying when I say all of us are not going to, it's going to be a long process. And, hopefully YouTube will be around and they won't cancel it. And if it is, maybe 20 years from now, other people, it'll be our grandsons or our granddaughters watching this just knowing, dang, we've come so far because of where our parents started.
Good point. Very good point. Let me catch the super chats and I'm going to get back to you, Dre. Shout out to James G with a $5 super chat. He says, I love Chicago. My time in South Korea overall is another universe of living. I did not go for women only. I felt a different level of life quality. We're going to talk about that quality of life overseas as well. Let me catch this other one real quick. Shout out to DC with a $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, it doesn't matter who we date, just have standards. A good universal standard is no kids, no debt, in shape, cook, and good attitude, nothing less. Good point. I 100% agree with that. All right. Let me catch Mr. G's world. What is he talking about? Those are the exact things Travel Bros talk about. Not sure what Mr. G was.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I'm
understand
not
that
sure.
one either. But
I wasn't sure who he was mentioning. Shout out to Big J's escape to the Dominican Republic for the $5. Like that's a British pound. He says, enjoy the bill. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. All right. So we'll go back to Dre, out there in Barranquilla, Colombia. Real quick, man. How is it out there? Because a lot of guys don't go out to Barranquilla like that. Flyboy say he's ready. He know about Barranquilla.
Yeah, it's a diamond in the rough out here, man. But it's straight local out here. This isn't one of these areas that you can come. It's not a Poblado in Medellin. It's not Cartagena, Clock Tower. This is Colombia. You need your Spanish. You're gonna be around nothing but locals. The vibe is amazing out here on the coast in general. So, I mean, I like it. I mean, I complain about the heat or the humidity out here, man. It's atrocious. But I mean, I got the AC blasting, even though I got the patio door open. Got the AC blasting with the door open, man. It's just hot all the time out here. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Okay, now
culture-wise.
Are there more like what's the like phenotype out there in Barron? Because you're closer to the coastline. Are there more melanated people or?
Oh yeah. This is where you're gonna find, other than Cali and some of the other smaller coastal cities, this is where you're gonna find the darker Colombians to Afro-Colombians.
Okay.
BMT, you gotta get out to one of Barranquilla's carnivals, man. You gotta get out to one of those, man. It'll change your whole perspective because you're gonna get people from all over Colombia that come to the carnival. And then if you stay a little bit longer or you're there a little bit earlier, you'll get to see how different it is during the carnival and outside of the carnival. That's why I say if I was to get a property in Colombia, it would be in Barranquilla because of the closivity to Cartagena, the closivity to Santa Marta. In Colombia, as you know, $30 you can pretty much go any country, any part of the country. So,
that's very true. I was in Barranquilla for about a week. I just remember I saw a lot of beautiful women. But I just remember how hot it was. I was like, damn, it is hot. You know what I'm saying?
That humidity is set on hell, brother.
To me, the thing about Barranquilla that makes it to me a gem, a diamond in the rough, is that the women there don't as much have the United States mentality as a lot of other parts, which they see the money being the head of the thing. They're still kind of relatively, it's about the family. Like even though Colombia in general, to me, in my perspective, it's more about the family. In Barranquilla, it's a lot more. So
I'm glad you said that, man. I'm so glad you said that.
You don't really need to have you don't have to flash money. You don't have to spend money on the women. You want to be around and learn their culture. And honestly, of all the places you guys know, I've been to Medellin, I've been to Cartagena, I've been to I'm bogus for a little bit, and I've been to Barranquilla. I'm going to Cali hopefully this year for a weekend. But the thing that I've learned about Barranquilla is that if you're looking for a woman that is more the wife type, like a wife girlfriend, like a real relationship type, Barranquilla, you can't get no better than Barranquilla in my opinion.
That's why I'm out here. I mean, otherwise, I'm a Medellin guy. I love Medellin, but I've been out here in Barranquilla, or I come to Barranquilla because my girl lives out here. Her family's out here, so I'll pull up in Barranquilla, stay out here. Well, I've been out here now for 2 months, so I may be out here next month or go somewhere else. I'm not too sure, but that's the only reason I come to Barranquilla is for her. So they got the women out here if that's what you're looking for. And not, I mean, if it's just pros, pros is pros. Go to Medellin, go to Cartagena for that. Is that one area, but guys that come through these areas need to understand that they're polar opposites. That those type of women, those areas is not the same as the regular Colombian and these local areas. They're not the same cultures. They're two totally different cultures. You got to move completely different between the two.
You know what, Flyboy, you made a real good point, and I know Drake can attest to this. By like, what's the driving factor? As far as most Colombians and his family.
Family.
The driving factor in America is material.
Money.
What can you?
Yeah.
Money. It's all about money.
Just talking about that because I was like, in America they teach you how to move like as an individual, like independent stuff out here. And I was telling people, like, if you look at how ties and how other people, like women from other cultures move, they're more family oriented. You have to get insurance and stuff like that. Insurance is out here is your children taking care of you and taking care of the family and like that, maintaining the house and stuff like that. It's not no real insurance. You know what I'm saying? I be
wealth.
telling brothers, y'all, family. You know what I'm? They're more family oriented, and like I be telling brothers too. I'm like, man, don't be like, you learn the culture and learn what you're doing before you go to certain places, and learn how to have respect for other people's culture and stuff like that before you really try to get into the women. Because whole team, you be thinking that you about Colombia and date a Colombian woman the whole time. You might meet a British woman who's also traveling. You know what I'm saying? You might not get with women that's even from there. You meet somebody completely. You might meet somebody on the plane. You dig what I'm saying? And both of y'all get at the same spot. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, just have a respect for the land and shit like that. And, deal with there's a whole other things to worry about when you travel, bro. So,
well, see, like when you mention culture, now that's a good thing, because when you come to some of these countries, and I'll use Colombia since I'm in this country currently, the way we approach females in America, our club and dating culture, you'll find some of that close to that in these tourist areas. The clubs in Parque Verdes and Cartagena, that's closer to the U.S. You go to one of these local spots, you can't just walk up and talk to no chick in the club and she's with a group of females. That's not how they move down here. They will go to the club, marry with their female friends just to be with their female friends. It's very cliquish down here. And if you don't know that clique, you ain't just walking up on that clique. Or you see a chick walking in the mall, most of these females don't like to be approached like that. You can't just walk up on a female and just start talking to her like that. Some of them you can, but the majority of them you can't, especially if you don't speak Spanish. And being a gringo is not what you think it is. These women, the regular females, are not just ready to just jump on any gringo they see, because a lot of these guys, or they know you're likely only going to be here for a handful of days.
Exactly.
A regular female isn't going to want to be seen with you. If she's a regular female and they know that these other females down here are for that, she's not going to want to be seen talking in public with you if you ain't about nothing.
Especially in Brazil.
It's funny that you say that, because a lot of the women out there, especially in South America, they actually tapped in with each other when it comes down to like foreigners and stuff like that. They actually very tapped. Like I'm not even gonna lie, Southeast Asia, like out here, it's kind of like they spread out and they like everybody doing their own thing, and they tapped in here as a country, but like when y'all talking about, they actually they people out there, so so that's a little bit you're right.
It's just, because I get it, guys come through, you visit, you see that area, that you interact with those type of females, and you assume that that's going to be how that, most of the females are here. You just can't move like that in these local areas, because it's the culture. You can't bring the American mindset and the American culture and force it on these people. You can't do it. You're actually, in some of these places, you're going to find yourself, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a predicament.
Yeah, you can't just, I know they throw it in the videos and stuff like that. It's good for the tourist area. You can't take that stuff outside that area. Think you finna go in a club and make it rain. You in there popping bottles, mugging everybody. You got your chains on. No, brother. No, not down here. Not down here. They ain't going for it.
That's true. Let me get Mr. G. Mr. G's world. He's been out there waiting patiently. You there?
Yeah, bro. I hope you copy me good. Yeah, speaking of some of these locations, man, on July 1st through the 5th, I'll be in Cali, man. Finally going back to Cali, man. I'm excited about that. I can't wait. The brother that was just speaking, and MOT sort of preface what he was about to say regarding his opposition, somewhat opposition, but I wish he had a real opposition, because everything he talked about was very fluffy stuff, and it sort of revealed itself that, like, he hasn't been kept up, or he's not really
who you
around
referring to,
traveling
Mr.
brother.
G? Who you referring to?
DJ Kudo.
You
Yeah.
said what?
That
Oh,
that he doesn't fellowship. It's obvious that he doesn't fellowship with traveling bros, because for the past 2.5 years, what has brothers been talking about? Right? The process of traveling, insurance. Like, a lot of brothers have been moving away from the girls, girls, mangoes content. Brothers have been a bit neutral and advertising other things on their channel. So the whole aspect where he said, like, people are just traveling just for the girls, it's sort of absurd for me, because I don't know, for the last 2.5 years, maybe Flyboy and BMT, you can confirm that for me. Brothers have been talking about mostly how to travel, how to do things, how to do other things. The whole mango kind of thing. If people talk about it slightly, but it hasn't been like the point. There hasn't been the nucleus of discussion around traveling bros. So that was very fluffy to us. I mean,
Okay,
most.
okay, Mr. G, let him respond. DJ Kudo, I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
respond.
go ahead.
oh, you said I can respond?
Yeah, go ahead, respond.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar with me or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Like I said, and I meant what I said, is that when you talk about, I don't. It don't matter if you talk about women or anything else, but to get other brothers to move, you know how black men are. It's like pulling teeth. You're not gonna get nobody on the plane talking about some. This is how you complete your Thailand pass and this, that, and the third. A lot of people they talk about women as the catalyst to get brothers to do anything. We know this better than anybody else. What I'm telling you is that if you making women the focal point, and I'm not saying traveling brothers and other people are making women the focal point of what they're doing. What I'm telling you is that there's a lot of other stuff you need to pay attention to when you leave the country other than women, you know? And I understand that y'all talk about laws, I understand that y'all talk about everything else. I'm not down in that. But what I'm saying is that don't make women the catalyst of why you're doing that. They're going to be there. You just need to make sure you know where you at, how you need to move, what's disrespectful in other countries and things like that, because them laws do not protect you. You're not of them. You are a visitor. When you go to other people's place, you gotta take your shoes off. You gotta be courteous. You gotta do certain things. Okay.
So, bro, are you saying that traveling channels don't educate guys on when you go to Colombia to not slam the door? Or are you telling me Andrea, Flyboy Way, Roll the Tape, BMT, they don't talk about that when you get out the taxi? Don't slam the door to show respect. They don't talk about that?
Let me ask you a question. Who said they didn't talk about that?
Well, the claim you're making is as if they don't talk about that. We promote
I,
that.
who said anything about that? What I'm saying is just sheer common sense.
Let me can I interject a little bit. I think I understand both of their parts. I believe that what Mr. G is saying is he thinks that you're saying it's the people who are on YouTube promoting travel and not doing it. But in my opinion, I think you're saying that guys just normally they see the women, they go after the women, they don't go for anything else. I think both things can be equal and the same. Like where Mr. G know is there are people like me, Passport, even DJ Cutter Cooler. There's people like us that speak about that also. However, what I believe he's saying is that if if most guys are going to want to go for the women, the issue I have where I interject is that, like I said, I know the history of black people, so it's a thin line you have to like coast to get the attention. If you really want to make a change, you got to get the attention somehow. And to be honest, but if you give too much attention towards it, it can be a negative thing. So it's a thin line. So I think both of you guys can be right in the aspect that you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get real quick. Let me get because he's been waiting for a while. The Seattle Sideshow. You want to go ahead and make your statement?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on something that I think King the Conqueror in the chat talked about. At least from my perspective, there is definitely a difference between people who travel just to travel and digital nomads per se.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'll consider myself in the latter, because I live in these different places and stuff and whatnot now. And I think what DJ Kuda is saying definitely rings true. I myself, when I first came to Europe, it was some things that I didn't know about, not in a safety sense, but just like document sense, like having a certain amount of money on record, having the right travel documents, having proof of itinerary. Some countries won't even let you in if they don't see a certain reservation. It's just things that you definitely do have to know when you're traveling, outside of the women. And I guess what I mainly want to say is that when it's all said and done, guys, is it doesn't matter, whose country is better, whose country is worse, what's going on here, what's going on there. Just it's about finding a place where you're going to be happy, a culture that you can mesh well with, and just enjoying your life. That's it. Like, I'm definitely a part of the travel space, but I just don't like to see the things that I see sometimes in the chat where we're arguing with each other and whatnot. We're supposed to be out here leaving the community so that we can find peace, not necessarily arguing with each other about who's right, who's wrong, and where to go. And especially being here in Europe, man, I rarely meet other American black men out here. Even though I just got out here, I would just like to see more of us out here experiencing the world, and I just hope that we do.
Where exactly you're at? You're in Europe, are you?
I'm back. I was in Norway last week. I just came back to Poland, and I'm hanging out with a Norwegian brother. Actually, he's from Norway, and we're actually thinking about going to Greece next. And he was in Budapest. He loves it down there. But yeah,
Okay.
I just want to see more of us, traveling.
Hey man,
just find a place that makes you happy, guys. That's
we
it.
gotta do an interview one day, man. Make sure you email me at blackmentravels@gmail after the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let me catch this super chat, and I'm gonna get back to the show. Shout out to Dr. Educated Idiot. But the follow-up super chat says Amsterdam is not the Netherlands. I lived in the Netherlands for 2 years. I have to laugh when I see these travel videos from the tourist traps. Appreciate that follow-up super chat, Dr. Educated Idiot. All right, now let me get back to Man Tomorrow. Man Tomorrow came in here and threw a few shots now to DJ Kuda. He says, MOT, super chat, man. I appreciate that. He says, DJ Kuda have been down in traveling, brothers. It's disgraceful to see him playing social chameleon on the panel. What's going on, bro? You want to address that? They coming for you today, man. They must know something I don't know, man. You've been that.
It's like
DJ Kuda, stick your chest out. Say it with all your chest, man. You ain't got to be scared, man. Cause I can kind of see it. It's kind of there.
Let me see. I'm
hold
running.
on real quick, because I don't. Do you have a YouTube channel or something, bro?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't try to understand.
In the manosphere ain't no mystery. Look, and dudes calling me a game dude. Let me tell you something. You got a lot of dudes on YouTube preaching this traveling shit to brothers that haven't even been out their truck. Okay, haven't even been anywhere. Okay, let me tell y'all something. When you leave the country, you need to be on your P's and Q's. Okay. You can't be like,
we understand, bro. We understand that. I'm just talking about, like, have you been coming at the travel bros sideways?
Fuck no. They look. I'm trying to tell you, they're people are pushing this rhetoric, man. You got to be careful, man. People are pushing this whole rhetoric, like I'm getting at traveling brothers and stuff like that. Why would I be in Thailand if I'm getting at traveling brothers? What average man?
That's what I'm confused about. You here, so
what average man go to Thailand? And you know what you got to do to get into Thailand with the Thai pass and stuff like that. Ain't no average brother. Like, come on, man. Like, you got like, come on, man. You got to have a little bit more game than that. What I'm saying is, I'm giving brothers the real information, man. Like, the last thing you should be thinking about when you touch down is about the women and stuff like that. There's other stuff that there's to explore. There's other things that you need to be thinking about. You can't be traveling with this imaginary wife. You don't know what's going to happen when you get to certain places. You don't know who you going to meet. Like I said, you can meet the one for you on the plane. You can meet the one for you anywhere. When you go to certain places, be respectful of them people. Understand the laws. Know what you can do. Learn how to get around. Where are you gonna stay? What region are you gonna be in? Is it gonna be
But bro, you're being very fluffy, to be honest with you. And I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Hold on a second, DJ Kuda. Look. The purpose of BMT channel, the purpose of many other folks' channel is to inform brothers of those things you're talking about. That's what they have been doing. Now you acting as if brothers don't even do that. But it's okay, bro. Go ahead. Like MOT said, go ahead, be a chameleon. Because it sounds like it's in you, but you want to stick your chest out and say it with all your chest. Because you're talking about, oh, they don't inform about the laws, yada yada. What the fuck you think MOT be doing? Do you think
Come on, man. Mr. G,
BMT be
come on,
doing?
bro.
BMT, that's
Come
what
on, bro.
BMT does. That's what Roll the Tape does. That's what Flyboy does. He informed people of different areas. How do you think I know about Santa Marta? How do you think I love Santa Marta? That's one of the places I want to move to.
And you are talking about other content creators. I'm talking about
Jesus Christ.
and other stuff, and you're bringing up other content creators and other people. What are you talking about? Why are you even offended right now?
I get it. No. I get why they're offended. Here's why they're offended. Because the point you're saying, I believe in your point. Now, here's what I'm saying. But the way you're saying it, it comes off as that you're saying the way that anybody else lives is completely wrong. That's the way it comes off for people. What you're saying, I hear what you're saying, and that's how I move. I move as far as knowing that the women is not everything. But I don't force my beliefs on other people. And I think the way you do it, people are believing you're forcing your beliefs on them, and they're getting offended by it.
I don't care about other than traveling and stuff like that. In like in the manosphere and wherever you guys are from, wherever you come from, a lot of times people always use women as a catalyst to do things. If dudes were to tell dudes to get in the gym, a lot of dudes are not going to get in the gym until you mention, oh, well, women like dudes with a built body. They like genetics. You get in the gym. Women are usually the catalyst for men to do stuff. What I'm saying is that when you're traveling, that's not one of those things that you want to take as a catalyst to go do something. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you're gonna go a certain place, don't think about women to the point that you realize that you're like millions of miles away from home. You know what I'm saying?
Right there, you see how you said don't. That would kind of make people upset because like you're telling them what to do. When you can, if I say like what I say is listen.
If that makes
I say listen, women are the cherry on top. That's like it's a different way of how you explain it. But I understand what you're saying. But imagine if I said, don't do this versus, you know what? Think about doing it this way. Women are great, but there's so much more. You see how we said the same thing but two different ways? That's why people sometimes get offensive.
Respectfully, my brothers. Listen, he's saying that these channels do not talk about the most basic shit ever. He's saying the traveling bros, BMT, don't talk about the most basic stuff. He's saying that DC Rap Born, you guys know what channel I'm talking about, doesn't talk about relocation, the visa process. He's saying we don't talk about safety when you travel. He's saying the YouTube channels that focus on travel don't talk about the most basic shit. That's how you know he's very fluffy, and he's not going straight into it. Stick your chest out and say it, bro.
G, where you from, bro? Where you from?
On camera, you arguing with words
Keeping it 100.
I'm a Florida Haitian nigga.
Oh, you say you fluffy. I like that. I'm gonna start calling these cats fluff.
Man, this man
go
put
ahead, bro.
my mouth in it. This man putting words in my mouth and then arguing with some shit I never even said. Who's talking about all of these channels? When did I say, yo, BMT talks like this? When did I say, yo, this guy talks like you naming a whole bunch of channels? Listen, bro, all I'm saying is that when you go somewhere, just make sure you respectful and you moving gracefully. You a black man in another person's country. Just act like it. God damn. You getting
bro, that's what these brothers tell us. That's what BMC tell us.
Mr.
Oh
G,
my God.
Hold on, bro. I'm gonna go ahead. We've been out here for a couple of hours, man. We got 249 in the chat. I appreciate you guys joining me here today. I'm gonna go ahead and go around the panel. I'm gonna get everybody's last closing statements on the subject because we got way far off the subject on this one. But we're gonna talk about the subject at hand as far as do you think that travel bros are putting foreign women on the pedestal? And also, the second part of that is Travel Bros dissing American black women to foreign women. So I'm gonna start off with you, Flybo Wade. I'm just gonna go around the circle.
All right, once again, to start from the subject, like I said, as I said earlier, what O'Shea Duke Jackson said in his video is not wrong because that's just a perspective. No one's perspective is wrong. So we have to give people the respect that they deserve of saying, hey, you can have a different perspective in life. My perspective can be one way, your perspective can be a different way. Neither one of us are right or wrong. We just have maybe both of our perspectives are different because my perspective is inclusive of other people and yours isn't. It doesn't make it better or worse. It's just different. Now, as far as what Travel Bros do, I can't speak for everybody, but from the guys and women that I've met around the world, the 7% of black people, like I said, it's even fun. It's laughable to me to think that black people are really changing anything internationally when only 7% of us travel. But guys, it's laughable to think that 7% of travelers around the world can actually change something. So I don't even give it the time of day to really to debate it. As far as the guys that I do know, the women that I do know, when you go overseas, you're not thinking about back in the States. You're thinking about the learning about the stuff, when you go overseas. It doesn't matter for me. It does. I'm not saying it for everybody. For me, it doesn't matter what reason you get to go overseas. I just say if you go for the women, go for the women because eventually you may switch to learning about the culture. If you go for the culture, well, cool, go for the culture because eventually you might want to learn about the women. For whatever reason that gets you out of the bubble that we live in the United States, like I said, it's not just everybody makes the United States seem like it's the bad matrix. No, everywhere is a matrix if you never traveled outside of where you've gone. If you're from Colombia, if you never left Colombia, that's the matrix because you've never gone to the United States. If you're from the United States, you've never gone outside of the world. It's the same thing. But my whole channel and my purpose of being here is to show people that we have options abroad, and that's it. If don't my options are not better than yours, your options are not better than mine. Just show options. But when it comes to having conversations like this, it's necessary, but you have to always remember when someone says something, are they saying it because it's getting the money or are they saying it because it's from their heart? Now, if I can prove that something's from my heart, then okay. But if it's so many questions whether or not it's for the money, why are we even debating whether or not it's an even conversation to have?
Good point, man. Good point. Very solid point. All right.
Oh, thanks, man.
Peace,
I'm watching
peace,
from
peace.
back time.
Okay, cool. All right, DJ Kuda.
Peace, y'all. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with what I'm saying, man. I don't know why dudes getting their feelings, but like I said, man, y'all have a fun time. You know what I'm saying? When you go to other countries, man, make sure you enjoy yourself. Make sure you know where you at. Be careful and cognizant of listening to a lot of other YouTubers because a lot of people are not traveling like they say they are. Never really been no places and stuff like that. And like I said, you know what I'm saying? Don't make that the catalyst of why you do something. You go somewhere, just make sure you being respectful of the land. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of other things to think about, whole bunch of other things to talk about, whole bunch of things to experience when you go to these countries and stuff that they have to offer. And like I said, move gracefully as a black man, understand where you are and where you are as a player talk.
All right, man. Peace, man. Good points. All right, this Mr. G's World. Closing statement.
Yeah, so yeah, I had to go back on his channel to check some of his content out. I mean, I've heard of him before, but I know exactly some of the rhetorics that these guys push. Um, the thing is, I have no problem with bro. I would love and I do welcome if he has legit criticism. If you have legit criticism that makes sense and
Well,
that's
Hold up, Mr. G. I don't mean to stop you, but I wanted you to sum up the topic of the
sum up.
day
Yeah, I'm
because
gonna sum up.
he's not here to go back and
Yeah,
forth
to
with you.
debate.
Kind of
Yeah.
debate you.
So I'll tell bros, man, you out there, you want to travel, and I know how it is, the anxiety and things of that nature pertaining to you probably want your homeboy to go with you, and they keep on dragging themselves. They're not making that decision to travel. If you have to do it like me. Book your ticket by yourself. Get out there. Don't be scared. There are some brothers out there you can tap in with. You have resources you can tap in with those resources. Get out there and travel. I like for me, because of my job, I couldn't travel till like after October, but I had to go ahead and squeeze this 4th of July trip in. I'm squeezing that in, then I'm gonna squeeze another one by the end of the year. Travel, bros. There's just way too much stress here in the United States. Don't listen to none of these brothers who are traveling themselves, going overseas, living years in in Africa, and then they come and tell you, oh, don't travel, yada 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 yada. Get out there and travel, brothers.
Good point. Good point. Threw a little shot there at the end. I peeped that, but that's what's up. All right, the Seattle Slideshow. Go ahead, bro. Close the statement.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what they're saying, just get out there and travel, guys. Do your research. No matter what ideology or philosophy you have, if there's a country you're interested in, do the research on it. You know, you got Reddit, you got the internet, you got Google, and just go. You guys are going to hear so many different opinions from all these different guys about their different experiences. Like before I went to Scandinavia, I heard people saying, oh, well, it's super feminist, this and this, you don't want to go there. But I've heard other people say it's amazing. I've heard people say Poland is a death trap where, black men, and you'll see the KKK at the airport. I've heard people become godfathers to families out here. Just you'll never know until you actually go. That's the biggest thing I can tell guys. I especially think that DJ Kuda has some validity to what he said about having your requirements. Make sure you guys do your research on the documents you need when you enter a country. That's very important. I had trouble with that when I first came out here. So make sure you guys look up, have your reservations ready, itineraries, whatever you need. And as far as the topic goes, yes, I do think some black men definitely pedestalize foreign women for sure. But I don't think that's something that we should harp on necessarily in the community. I think that's something that's a problem that we should address and try to grow from. If there's some dudes out there simping for foreign women, set them straight. But I think that's a very small minority. I think your average travel bro, especially if he's a digital nomad, he's at least red pill aware, especially if he's in this space. So I don't think that's a big population of guys that's simping for foreign women. But that's the most I would say, guys. Just, don't get your head too clouded up with hearsay. Just go and experience it yourself. You'll never know until you actually go yourself.
Okay, man. Good points. Good points. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Well, that was a very good show. Very classic show, man. Hope you got some good information from it. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Peace. Till next time.
Keep it factual. I'm on sabbatical. I'm out in Central America. I need a break from hysteria. Park like the one with the carousel. I get it lit in your area. I'm locked to the vision, it couldn't be clear. You couldn't pay me to care enough. I dare you to hate me supreme with the sound through the stereo. So turn it up loud when you hearing us. We live and it's good in your area. My mama proud, she tearing up and it's going down. Got your girl aroused by these massive stacks like 100 pounds. Running big laps till the sun is down like 100 miles. Tinted frames on me leaning down. I'm winning now.